What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Single Player Let's Play. So, I've done a little bit of preparation between episodes, and you can see now that I'm doing pretty well on some of the crafting recipes here. So, in front of us here, we have a new machine from Ender.io ready to be crafted. It is the Soul Binder. So the way the Soul Binder works is it will take player experience, and it'll take a few different items to basically bind a mob soul, which I happen to have captured already, the one that we need, as well as combines it with an item. So this guy's going to take plenty of power, and if I grab a capacitor for it, we're just going to try one of these and hope that it works. That one works, great. You will see that I've already captured a zombie in a soul vial. Because for our Killer Joe here, we're going to need a handful of things. We've got to have some dark steel, which you'll notice I only have a little bit of, and I'm actually going to need a little more. So we're going to go ahead and get that. We're going to need 4 more pieces in total. I think maybe more than that, perhaps, but I think it's just 4 pieces. So we will go ahead and get the recipe going for that, because it'll take a little while. But the rest of our Killer Joe is going to require one of these Franken zombies, which is going to turn our Z-Logic controller kind of halfway to life. So the Z-Logic controllers, I think we've made them before for the advanced item filters. In fact, I'm pretty sure we have. I know we have for the farming station, so there we go. But we also can use them, like I said, to do this. And you'll see that the cost is 4 levels. It says enchantment cost. I think that means, I think that's just, it doesn't, I wouldn't have used that phrase, but it works, actually. I was going to disagree with it, but technically, if I had to describe that as anything, that would have been it. So we need the Z-Logic controller, which is a zombie head, 2 solarium, and some silicone, and some redstone. So if I get some redstone, and I'm going to need silicone, and a zombie skull, and 2 solarium. I already have a piece, so that's nice. If I grab a piece of gold, we can get that smelting. Our dark steel is done, because we're going to need to do a handful of things with it. And then, if I recall, the Killer Joe also requires fused quartz. So, running low on quartz again. That's a bit unfortunate. So we'll go to the slice and splice to make our Z-Logic control processor. And come on over here. Just about finished. There we go. And we will bind it with player XP. It'll use 4 levels. And boom. Soul vial empty. And a Franken zombie, which we can use if I do the recipe right. Ta-da! There we go. Killer Joe. I also need an ender. Oh, actually, well, I made an extra dark steel. I didn't need that. Because I was going to make an ender, but we apparently already have one. We're going to need a few other things as well. We're going to need some enderman heads, because I need to get a sword ready here. So we have our Killer Joe, attacks nearby creatures when supplied with a sword and nutrient distillation. Oh, hey, wait, what's that? We made nutrient distillation in the last episode? Yeah, gee, that was planned. I showed you guys the build anyways, so you kind of know where I'm going. But the sword is kind of the biggest deal. So, Enchanted Book. Let me see what I have for Enchanted Book. Unbreaking 3 is actually one of the ones I was going to make. XP Boost wasn't, but I will use it because we have it. So now we just need Sharpness, which, oh, that's going to be quartz. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go mining in the nether. So I'll be back in a little while again. I do this every episode, it seems, but I was not prepared this episode. So we're going to do the same thing I did last episode. We're just going to take a chest and put everything in it, and we'll come back to this when I come back from the nether with plenty of quartz this time, I promise. And, yeah. Alright, just got back from the nether. We're up to about 1,000 quartz or so. Not quite so much, but getting there. So that's nice. Definitely worth the trip. So let me see. I had put in that upgrade, and I don't want that upgrade in there all the time. And you know what? I think I took out one of the upgrades. Augment. Yeah, I had taken out the speed augment, but I'm going to put it back in. I think it'll be just fine. So we'll put that back there. Now, let's pick up where we left off, why don't we? So we're going to need, let's see. Where was I in the middle of thinking? Do we have... I haven't even checked to see. It's been a while since I've looked. I think I have an enchanter over here, yes? Yes, good. Well, we have the enchanter. We're just going to need to donate some of my levels back. There we go. And the reason that I even went and got quartz was because we're going to need it for a sharpness book. Because we want sharpness just to avoid constantly damaging this sword, like, unnecessarily. So we're going to need 2 books and quills, at least. Yeah, I think 2 should be sufficient, because we're going to have unbreaking... No, we're going to need 3. Because we're going to have unbreaking, XP boost, and then we're going to have 1 for looting, which is this one. 1 with quartz, which will be sharpness, and then we're going to need 1 more, and that last one, trickily enough, is going to use our gold, and let's see, it's going to be for a mending book. So we're going to need, did I only get 2 pieces of gold? I needed 3. And actually, let me see. Is this 2? Okay, so I actually have this recipe all wrong. And then soul sand. Let's get this together. So we're going to need to make 1 more of the energetic alloy. And then 2 solarium. I just happen to have most of these recipes for the enchanter memorized because I do this quite often. At least every single player or every world that I do, I usually end up doing this. How I do my power later on the road is kind of up for debate, but definitely... Oh, I forgot lapis. Definitely, you know, up for the picking, but it just depends. And we'll grab half a stack of lapis. I shouldn't need more. Actually, I might need more than that. I don't remember how much lapis one of these recipes requires. I'm not sure if you can hear the sirens in the background. If you can, I apologize. Somebody is evidently needing to be rushed to the hospital, so that's unfortunate. So, 27 levels for you. And I always suggest being precise with the number of levels you take out, because if you take out 30, for example, you're going to be left with 3, but the value of 3 levels is much less than the value of 3 levels from 0 to 3, which is what you'll be left with, is much less than the value of 3 levels from 27 to 30. So just think about that. So we'll do looting, then we will do sharpness 5 at 36 levels. And that took 60. And then mending at 21. So the books are pretty expensive on the levels. I mean, we just drained through like almost 100 levels. Now, granted, that's not 100 levels stacked. That's just 100 levels straight. But still, that's pretty intense. So we could do any other sword. We could do this on a diamond sword or any other type of vanilla sword that takes enchantment. But I'm using the ender because of the increased skull and ender pearl drops. That's kind of ideal for us here. And it has 2,000 durability, so it's actually better than even a diamond sword. And from there, our other sword options are not as good. Except for the law sword, which you can't even acquire as far as I'm aware. So, let's get started by just smacking all these together. We're going to need 5 for you. And, oops, helps if I put them on the right order. Then unbreaking is here. It's going to be 4 for that. I don't normally put XP boost on a sword, but I already had it, and it definitely doesn't hurt. Ah, that was 5, not 4. Whoops. So there's 5 for you. Mending is going to cost 9. And then looting 3 is going to cost 21, because at this point we are maxing out this sword, and the game knows it. There we go. Sharpness 5, unbreaking 3, XP boost 2, mending, and looting. This sword is pretty incredible. Now the thing is I would use this for myself, except it's got that slow swing speed, and I am all about that fast swing speed. This thing has 2.4 attack speed, which is almost instant at this point. I can almost spam click it. So that's pretty great though. I mean, that's a great sword for that. So now we're going to need 2 more things. We're going to need, I'm going to do some fun stuff with tracks, actually. So we're going to have, not a whole lot of fun stuff. Don't get too excited. We're going to need track. We're going to need 2 hoppers. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and make a few chests, because I'm going to need various things. So we're going to need 2 hoppers, and a hopper minecart is going to be one of the things. We are going to need another tank, which I think we already have. It says it's configured. I don't think it's holding anything though, is it? Yeah, this is empty, so we're just going to reset the configuration on that. We're going to need conduits for sure. Fortunately, this system doesn't actually require any power directly. It only requires fluids and items, so that's pretty cool. We're going to need a few other things. Let me think. Oh, so the first thing that I'm going to need to do, this is going to sound really strange. You're going to have to trust me, though. I'm cooking chicken right now, and I just got a whiff of it through the house. It's starting to cook up really nicely. It smells great. But we're going to need the experience obelisk. And the reason is because we're going to get a whole whack ton of excess experience, and I want it to go somewhere. And I can store it in tanks, but the tanks are going to get filled up. Whereas this can store like a ridiculous amount of experience. I've got 450 levels in my one on the server, and it's just massively different. Now we're going to need 2 different kind of vacuums as well. This is why I made a decent amount of stuff earlier, but it doesn't look like I've got all the right stuff. So we need 2 pulsating crystals, which isn't a problem, I don't think. I think I have enough nuggets. Dang, I was almost with the nuggets. We need, let's see, we'll do that one. Oh, I did the wrong recipe. I need that again. There we go. Well, now we have enough for 2. In fact, I'll do that. Why not? So we're going to have a vacuum chest, an XP vacuum, which is going to require another 2 pieces of solarium, and redstone and glowstone. Let's see, 2 and gold. So the vacuum chest is going to handle all the mob drops because the Killer Joe does not pick up anything. It just kills. It doesn't pick up XP anymore. It doesn't do anything, which is fine. But the XP vacuum is how we're going to pick up our XP. And actually that reminds me, I'm going to do this in a very specific order. We're going to do this. I have you. If I take my experience obelisk, and we'll just do this, such that I can get exactly 1. Do I have any buckets? Yep. I'm going to need a bucket of liquid experience, so we're going to start with this first while I still have the experience rod, and then we'll drain this out, reset the configuration again if we need to, restore the XP in there. See, I have a plan. Everything is working as planned, because now we can use this for an experience vacuum. Because the XP vacuum is going to need a bucket of liquid XP to kickstart it. So there's always a reason. And now, how are we doing on ink sacks? Because I want to get clear... How am I doing on glass, I guess is a good point. We'll start with that. And I wonder, do I have any basalt? I have some. Okay. I like going with a dark theme for this kind of stuff, so we're going to start by alloying our glass into quite clear glass, which can then be turned into, in an alloy smelter, dark clear glass. Now, you can either do this straight from sand, which I didn't know. I'm probably going to do that just because it's going to save some time. And we'll just do that. And so we'll do half a stack, and I think I should have... There we go. Whoops. Close enough. Because this recipe should work out. Oh, that's right. It uses a lot more of the ink sacks. Dang it. Because quite clear glass... Oh, but you do use any black dye. That's helpful. We have a few black lotuses. Because this is using 4 every block. That being said, we don't really need a ton. That should be plenty, honestly. Oops, I put quite clear glass back in there, but I want a normal glass. And then, here's the thing. I'm picky, so we're going to do mortar pestle, and we're going to turn this dark clear glass into, what? I thought I could dye this. I have to use black? Okay, well, it's a good thing I have sacks, because, like, that's weird. I don't like that. Whatever. There. So that'll get us 17 dark clear glass, which is important. The last thing we're going to need is some grass. Let me think. If it's 5 by 4, it's going to be 20, so we will have enough grass. I think we have everything we need for this at this point. So why don't we hop downstairs, and the plan is I want to put the mob farm probably down here, because honestly there's nowhere else that I'm really gonna need to put it, so why not just do it here. So the setup for this, well, I don't know, because if I put it here, I'm not sure. Maybe I should put it, what if I put it here, because this is already 5 blocks. Yeah, why don't we do that? That's a good plan. So here's my plan then. This is going to be, because this is at Y level 47 too, so it's low enough that we're not going to really hear it. So there's our dark clear glass, and this is why I like it painted black. I just now noticed that this insta-mines, that's kind of weird. And so we are going to want it to be 3 blocks tall on the inside. Just on account of the fact that, well, let me switch these out. I would like Silk Touch, just for the fun of it. So this is going to be 3 blocks tall on the inside to make sure that we can get ourselves some delightful Endermen, because that's pretty much what we need. And it's not all that we need, but it's the bigger picture here is that we need Endermen. And we're also going to need a few gunpowder for the eventual setup here. So let me just go ahead and I'm going to dig out little holes here in the wall. We're going to conjure light here and here. And so this is going to be the spawning ground. So all of this I'm going to replace with grass. And this I'm going to replace with the blue. So we'll do grass. Oh, come on. There we are. And then the wall is going to be here. Now this is the thing. Our killer Joe, I can't remember, does Joe face you? No, he faces away. Kind of makes sense. You don't want to give your killer Joe your sword yet, because you don't want to die, probably. You might want to die. I can't imagine why you would, but you may. I don't know how you play Minecraft. So, let me fix this too, because this is going to bother me if I don't. I still didn't fix it right. Dang, come on. There we go. So, from here, we have our Killer Joe. We're going to need a few conduit facades, which I didn't really plan out, but that's okay. We're going to have our Killer Joe. We're going to have, down here, I'm going to put it here, actually. The way I have the vacuum chest planned is such that we'll put the vacuum chest down. You'll notice it's going to suck up any items in the area. I don't know if you've seen this before or not. So if I stand here in this corner and I drop something down, it's going to slowly wiggle over here. This is a setup that I've seen done by others, and I really liked the idea, and so I'm going to do it myself. Is to keep from having your vacuum chest have to be visible, you can choose to do this. And what this is doing is you put down a track on top of the hopper. So the vacuum chest is currently acting only as a magnet. The hopper is what's actually collecting the items from a hopper cart that goes on top of it. So, once again, not an original idea, but definitely a really cool one. I should be able to put a block down, but I can't for some reason. So I'm just gonna do this, because I'm going to be willing to bet that if I cover this block first and then put down the minecart with hopper, no problem. There we go. So there's your pro tip of the day. Put down the hopper, or the grass block before the hopper. And so now if I drop anything here, it just disappears because minecarts with hoppers can pick up from one block above. So using this little feature, and you'll see that items are going to try to get drug over to this basically constantly at this point. What I want to do is, let me see, pick up all of these items. What I want to have is an importer, which, as luck has it, I've got auto crafting set up down here. Isn't this really convenient? All I have to do is wait, which that is part of the challenge, I'd say. But it just finished. So we'll grab the importer, and the importer is going to import straight from the hopper into our refined storage network. Nifty, nifty. And now we can just tap into our refined storage network from right over here. So we'll just make a little connection down here, probably right in the center, because there we go. The vacuum chest is going to keep on trying to pick stuff up. If we cover this stuff up, it'll be fine. And so now we will do this. And once we get that done, I think, let's see, yeah, we're pretty good there. So we will close this up again. And our importer should be live, so that at this point, if I throw something in there like, we'll just do the XP bucket, it'll get thrown in there, sucked in, and now, boom, in the system. Bingo, bingo. So the next step is this. We don't want you picking that stuff up, but we don't really get a choice. The way this setup works is not exactly my favorite, but it's all we really have at the moment, or rather, it's really the only way that you can do this with Ender.io, at least. Sorry, I can't help but mine ores. I still need some. So, if I do, let's see, XP vacuum here, the XP vacuum is going to pick up experience from this room, and like I said, it requires XP to get started. Now that it has some, we're good. So, we will output, I hope I have enough of these, but we're going to find that out sooner or later. We're going to have our ender tank under here. Remember, this has our nutrient distillation, very important. We're going to extract, always active, and just set you to insert. And our Killer Joe is now full. We'll probably notice over here, if we run over here real quick, this system is probably kicking back on again because we just used pretty much, well, not everything, but a lot of our nutrient distillation. No problem though, because we've got that automated for now. We're out of rotten flesh in our system, but not for long. Once we get the system set up, it'll be more than ready. So, this is where things get a little bit tricky and a little bit, well, funny, I guess you could say, is we're going to have to kind of sit and wait, or if it's nighttime, maybe not. Let's see, is it night or is it morning? It's morning, that figures. Because the more damage we can do to this sword... Dang it, I was hoping I could get him for that last one, but he just got knocked back too far. Whatever. The more damage we can get done to this sword, the better, because we want to... Well, mending keeps on repairing it, so that's kind of negating the purpose. Well, never mind. We'll just let the system do it, and I will just quickly fill this in a little bit with some stone. Creeper could have at least taken out the beehive. I mean, gosh. That being said, I do need to do some bee stuff here soon anyway, so whatever. And just check this obligatorily. Yeah, not really doing much. Which is fine. I don't really need fishing stuff. I just wanted to set that up for fun. So we're just going to have to try and wait for this, essentially. We'll make a... Oh, yeah, that reminds me. Don't put this in too early. I just put that in, and you notice it already started damaging me. I kind of forgot about that. So we can just go ahead and... I guess we'll just do this so that we can have some around the hatch access, and we will... see, conjure light, and this will give us access around to the back. So we will do I have some basalt, so I want to fill in the walls and ceiling And I'm doing basalt because this room's going to be dark anyways, so I want to like use that as decoration almost. We'll just go ahead and throw this stuff on the ground so that it'll go get sorted. And let me see, what are my options with basalt? I like the circular with CTM, but I also like just the normal circular, so I don't really know. Why don't we do these? And actually, why don't we do one stack of these with the Celtic? So we'll do Celtic for the ceiling. And then we will do wide for around the corners. Because believe it or not, we are actually getting very close to done here. It felt like the moment would never come. So now we have access to back here, because this is going to be important. Here's what we're going to run into. Our XP vacuum here is going to have some experience inside of it, and therefore what we want is this. We're going to put down this guy, and it's going to insert XP and extract from here, which is fine. That didn't, like, unpower that, did it? No, okay, good. And so, what we're going to need to do is this, and this is where the filter kind of has to come into place. We're going to insert here on, actually we're going to in-out. So we're going to insert on black and extract on white, always active. And this is for an item conduit. Notice this is an item conduit, and we want this. We're going to connect it. You notice how now, with the liquid XP in here, it's showing us some tools up here. That's because you can put a mending tool in here to be repaired using the liquid XP inside. So we're going to do this, and we're going to set this to insert extract, and it's going to insert on white, extract on black. We're going to set this to not always active because we still need to configure it with an item filter that's set to a specific durability of the ender that is going to prevent us from having extra damage or unnecessary damage. And actually, thinking about how this is going to be laid out, I need to move this to here because don't connect and tell you to insert on fluids. And this is going to be in out, and that was insert on black, right? Yes, and then extract on white, always active. The reason being is because we're going to have to cover this with some conduit facades, and we want it to be completely dark back here. Because right now we're bleeding some light through, as you can see. So let me get some facades crafted. In fact, I'll have to go upstairs anyway, so we can just go ahead and do all of that up here. We're going to need some facades. And we're also going to need filter. I think just a basic will work. So let's get our 3 facades painted. We'll just use the normal basalt block that we were using because I think it has the proper opacity. It should. I can't imagine why it wouldn't. And then the last bit is literally going to be in regards to our excess experience. So just for now, this is not a pretty solution by any means, but it works, I think. It should work, maybe. Is if we have pressurized fluid conduits flowing, and in fact, I should do it from down here because I'm already going to need to go that way anyways. I'm trying to be conservative on my conduits if I possibly can be. There we go. And we can put it 1, 2, and 3. And we'll have 2 conduit facades there. That's not really a huge deal. So what we can do now is, if I break this to get under here, we'll do insert. And set this guy to insert from the bottom. I think we're all done here, so we can just fill that in. Like I said, we'll use conduit facades for all of this. We can still walk back here for now, and we'll need to use conduit facades on the bottom face and the back faces, because those two spots are letting in light. They still are a little bit, and that's strange. I wonder why. Okay, well I know one block that does work for sure is dark clear glass, so let's just get that instead. I'd rather be safe than sorry here, because I mean, it's not going to really detriment your mob spawns too badly, but it will somewhat. Did I just break the item conduit? I did, didn't I? Dang it. I just set that crap up. So this was extract on black and insert on white. And we haven't set that yet, so that's fine. That's a nuisance. So, let's see, we'll do this, because I know this for sure works, and then we're going to need a drop of evil, because this needs to be cursed soil, or else we're not even going to get mob spawns down there now, are we? We're almost done with the episode, hooray! Alright, so this should not let me down. This should definitely work. But I don't know if it is. I have a feeling it's not. Oh, no, it is. Good, 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 good. Great. Excellent. So I'll break these. And, in fact, I'm just going to break one of these because I don't want much going through here. We'll place the cursed earth down, or the drop of evil down in the center. And now we get cursed earth. We're going to get mob spawns. Nothing is going to be dying in there, though, because we don't have a sword. So let's give our Killer Joe a sword. Why don't we? In fact, if I can get some damage on this sword, there we go. I can show you guys. You can hear some death going on in there for sure. If I step back, you're going to see the experience get sucked up. We are going to occasionally have instances where zombie heads pop out of the area, but that's fine. So I'm going to take a little while to just let this run so that I can get some damage on that sword before it completely breaks, because we want to have it damaged a good decent bit before we put it in the tank. So I'll be back in just a little bit. Alright, so I'm back. The sword has 1,920 durability left, so we're going to go ahead and whitelist it to extract that one specific one. Match metadata is enough for this. And so if I put in the ender, it's going to get extracted as soon as I tell this to work on always active. And in fact, it's not going to get extracted because 1917 is not equal to 1920. So I don't know really if I have a solution here. I guess not. So we're just going to have to deal with that. So we'll let it drain and go back in there. And now we should be good. Like, I know this will work. I just didn't really plan that out. So I guess I'm going to end the video there, or the episode there. Oh, I forgot to put my conduit facade back down. That's trouble. Facade, keeping it dark in there. And so, at this point, all I have left is to cover this stuff up, which I will do the facade stuff that I promised for these two blocks, and we should be in good shape. You'll see we're getting a decent amount of experience. You'll see the XP bar in here kind of going up progressively, proving that everything is working the way it's supposed to, and this is also going to be getting us rotten flesh. In fact, we've already filled up that buffer and now have some excess. So that's pretty great, and we're doing good on bones. Now if I take a look at chest, or let's see, helmet, boots, you'll see we've already gotten a pair of golden boots. So this is the kind of stuff that we're going to be extracting or exporting into the trash can. So there you guys go. I'd say that's a pretty productive episode, though. Most certainly feel pretty accomplished with the way this went. So I'm going to leave it there, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next one.